Welcome everyone. Happy 2015. This is Virginia Parsons, your Hangout mentor and the host of the Inspirational Businesswoman Show. I'm thrilled to have you here today because I know your time is precious and valuable. So it's my intention to provide for you, the entrepreneur, valuable action tips and strategies that you can go ahead and pick up and apply to your business even today. We've got such great strategies coming up with my guest that you're going to want to pay attention, jot some notes down, and go ahead and take action. That's what this show is all about, providing you actionable tips. So my desire is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with a gold mine of entrepreneurial tips, strategies, and advice to grow your business from inspirational business women in the know. By the way, I would love to know who you are and where you're hanging out from. In addition to that, why don't you just type in the event comment section a little bit about your own business and your own passions and your own desires of what you want to accomplish in 2015. You know, what I want to do for you is create a collaborative of inspired both sister and brother entrepreneurs who can help support one another, help uplift one another, and just be there to collaborate. So go ahead and feel free to use the comment section for that, as well as letting us know where you're hanging out from. Either way, we are thrilled to have you here. Now, today's show is sponsored by Hangout-Marketing.com, where you can receive a free Hangout marketing assessment that will measure your skill set and your knowledge base to help you reach new heights of visibility, social influence, and success using this incredible tool, Hangouts on Air. Now, all you have to do to take advantage of that assessment is pick up your phone, pick it up, and text the word success, SUCCESS, to the number 307-269-2040. Now, if you happen to be overseas, no problem. Just go in and type into your computer Hangout-Marketing.com, and the assessment will pop right up for you. It will only take a couple minutes, and it will provide you with some great tools to start branding and marketing your own business using this Hangout on Air tool and technology. You also might even qualify for a free strategy session with me on how to monetize Hangouts on Air and brand and market your business. So without further ado, I am so excited to introduce our guest to you today. Her name is Molly Youngblood Geiger. And you know, Molly has a wonderful story to share with us. I'm looking forward to hearing all about her background and how she got started as the CEO of Design Right for You. She is both a webmaster and a designer. And she also has done so much with Google that I know you're going to be interested in her knowledge base because it is extensive. I'm going to actually lift up my paper because there's more than I could put on our introduction today. But I'll tell you what, she is a Google Partners North American Ambassador. She's a Google Business Community Advisor. She's a Google Helpout provider. She's a Google Top Contributor Rising Star, and she was awarded the most helpful supportive partner in the Google's Partner Program in 2014. Wow, what accomplishments, Molly. We are very impressed. Molly, just take a moment and say hi to everyone, and then I'll go over what we're going to cover today. Come on in and say hi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Molly Youngblood Geiger with Design Right for You out of Jacksonville, Florida, and I appreciate the opportunity of being featured on your show today, Virginia.
Great, Molly. Thanks so much. And I also want to acknowledge Robin Holland, who's here to help, you know, gather all your comments together. So we want to make sure you're writing down in the comments section. Robin, come say hi to our audience.
Hey, everybody. It's so good to be here. And I see that we have Dorothy Lyles here, waiting and watching, she says. So everybody, feel free to throw your comments here. I'm going to be watching them and making sure that Virginia and Molly are aware of them.
Thanks so much, Robin. Well, here's the scoop for today. Don't you want to harness the power of the internet Well, Molly thinks you can, using digital strategies to propel your business in 2015. So that's the topic today. And then we have these semi-hot topics, one of which I think we're going to have a lot of questions about, and that is Google AdWords and analytics, and what are the best practices to grow your business. We're also going to talk about something that I was not aware of, and I imagine there's a number of other people who weren't, and that is Google grants for nonprofit businesses. Finally, we're going to touch on video marketing and how you can leverage yourself using YouTube and video marketing. So without further ado, we're going to get started and bring Molly forward with my first question, Molly. How in the world did you manage to learn all this information at such a young age?
That's an interesting question, Virginia. I can share with you that I started my digital agency, oh gosh, about 13 years ago. In a former life, I worked for a very well-known financial company, and at the time, my responsibility was to handle the reporting accuracy for their loan portfolio. And when I first entered the department, their accuracy was at a 48%. It was horrible. They had all kinds of issues going on, and so after meticulously working on their loan portfolio for about 2 years, I finally dawned upon me. I said, why am I not using my technical background? I attended Texas Tech University, and so I created a database that actually sorted out the reporting error. And it just happened to coincide with an opportunity with Freddie Mac where I could take and submit this idea for the Freddie Mac Technology Servicing Award. And just so happened that I was one of 10 people in the entire United States that won that award based on the database I created. So in short, there's a little bit of a war story beside that. It had affected upper management, and the short version was I wound up getting fired for that accomplishment. And I know that sounds a little unusual, but being that it was in finance, I decided right then and there that if I was going to work that hard to solve a problem, that I was going to do that for myself. And so that's when Design Right For You came about. And so I decided to take from that and just grow my business, and I decided to utilize website design and development. So I started, like anybody else, I had to create a portfolio of work so I could show people what it was I could do. And from there, I started just designing websites. That's all I did was website design. But it was from that my clients would come back and say, hey, you built me this great website, but I'm not getting any traffic from it. And I said, well, it's because it's not optimized. And it was through going and meticulously working with my clients and finding out what they needed to grow their business is how I grew Design Right For You from a website design firm into where we provide all digital services, internet marketing, search engine optimization, Google AdWords, Google Analytics, Google grants for nonprofits, graphic design, printing, website design, website development. Pretty much if it has anything to do with the website or designing or the internet or marketing, we provide those services. So going into how I came into play with Google was about 3 years ago. There was a program offered called Google Engage that I decided to participate in. It's a program designed for digital agencies like myself to participate with Google in learning their platform and how we can strategize their platform for small businesses. And so with that, the Google Engage program moved into what is now known as the Google Partners Community. And I was actually invited by the former manager who is out at the Googleplex in Mountain View, California, to participate in this community. And so when I did so, I jumped right in and started answering questions when I could help out within the community. That resulted in me being spotlighted as a Google partner in March of 2014. And from there, within the next month, I was actually approached by my manager from the Googleplex in Mountain View to be promoted to a Google Partners Ambassador, which for me was a huge accomplishment. Right now the community, I think there's roughly 22,000 people, and out of 22,000 people, there are only a few that have been selected as an ambassador. So from there, I actually was invited to participate with the Google Small Business Community. I was promoted to a Google Advisor small business advisor, where essentially it's the same thing, where I jump in and I answer questions about how to run a small business. That community currently is around 225,000 people, and out of that, I believe there's a dozen or so advisors. So with that being said, that's how I kind of came into play with Google and getting my business started.
Wow, that is quite a story. And you know what I want to really pause and emphasize about this is that you were in a whole different field. You ended up being one of 10 people in the country who won an award for the analysis that you did, lost your job as a result of it. And isn't it interesting how life just takes us sometimes on a new path because of a struggle or a challenge that we had. So all of you entrepreneurs out there, remind yourself that those challenges and struggles are not always the worst. They're probably for your best good. So thank you for sharing. That's an incredible story. Hey, Robin, what have we got going on out there with our audience?
Unmuting myself. We have Cynthia Gardner O'Neill says she's really happy to be learning about these great Google tools and Google grants and excited to be here. So I asked her to give us any specific questions if she has them, and anyone else as well as Molly is talking.
Great. Thanks so much for sharing that. Cynthia, hello. Great to see you on the show. She was a terrific guest, met last week. I'm sure some of you probably remember her wonderful show on harmonics. All right, Molly, let's get into the nitty-gritty here. There's so much great information. And I have to be really open with you and let you know that this next topic on Google AdWords and analytics and best practices to grow your business is something that I'm not very aware of. I know you need analytics on your website. I believe it's on my website, but I've never done anything with it, and I've never used AdWords. So I'm going to just let you talk to me, who I think I'm representative of a lot of our audience. I know there's many more who are very savvy in this area, but talk to me, the small business owner, the entrepreneur, on how we can really use analytics and AdWords to grow our business.
Sure, I'd love to embellish on those topics. Google Analytics is a free tool that Google offers where a business owner, or really any individual with a website, can monitor the traffic from their website. It's really as simple as going to Google Analytics and getting signed up. If you don't have a Google or Gmail account, you will need to create one prior to getting a Google Analytics account. But once you go in, you just get in there and get your website set up. And once it's set up, you will install a tracking code. And what this tracking code does is it is configured with your analytics account and your website, so it can track all the activity to your website, meaning the number of visitors, where people are visiting from. It can get very, very detailed in the sense that if you really want to utilize analytics to track AdWord campaigns, social media campaigns, you can actually use goals and funnels to drill down the data to analyze maybe a specific thing you're trying to accomplish with your website, meaning if you sell something from your website, like an e-commerce website, or if it's just a general brochure type website. Those insights can be invaluable in the sense that you can get a report sent to yourself either daily, weekly, or monthly. I personally recommend the weekly report just because it sheds information that you can kind of take and gather, and it really helps a business owner take that data, analyze it, and then refocus it on what goals you want to accomplish with your website. In addition to that, Google AdWords is another program that Google offers that is paid advertising that a business owner can utilize to get immediate exposure for their business, in the sense that to have a digital marketing campaign is one thing, but a lot of people, they might need that immediate exposure, and that's where Google AdWords comes into play. Best business practices would be to set a daily budget of $20. So you're looking at roughly $600 per month. But with Google AdWords, there's so many different types of campaigns that can actually benefit a business. There's something known as remarketing, which is another snippet of code that can go on your website that will actually help remind people that they visited your website. So both platforms are great for small businesses depending on their goals. Analytics mainly is to analyze the data about the website, and then AdWords is a marketing platform that businesses can use to share to the world what it is they sell or what they do.
Well, what do you do with the analytics once you have two questions. Can you install this on even single pages, like a lead page? Can you install analytics? And secondly, what kind of things are you going to suggest we do with the analytics to make it really benefit our business?
Sure. Yes, you can install Google Analytics on a landing page. Same for AdWords. Any AdWords scripts, that information that you're interested in knowing, you can install on a landing page as well as a website. Some of the information, depending on what the business offers, would be, where are your website visitors coming from? Are they all within a local region, or are they a national audience, or maybe even an international audience? Something that's also a really neat feature about Google Analytics is if you are logged into your Analytics account, there's something called real time, which you can click on, which will actually give you the real-time statistics. So say you happen to be logged into your Google Analytics account and there's 10 people on your website. Well, it will actually reflect that information. That, hey, I've got 10 website visitors. So I think in addition to that, some information that business owners may want to learn about is what pages are people visiting. Are they visiting maybe a product page, or are they visiting your About page? Or maybe they're just going to your home page. There's something we call as a bounce rate in Google Analytics, and what that means basically is, say somebody goes to your web page. Well, we want to deliver them to a page that has interesting content. So if we have a page that maybe isn't optimized or doesn't have the content that a user is looking for, well, they jump off the page. And that essentially is what we call as bounce rate. So we try to, we don't entirely focus on bounce rate, because certainly it's important to be made aware of what it is. But we try to provide interesting content, and that's where analytics actually comes into play, is it helps us define, okay, well, are we delivering the message that our users want? Are they buying from our website? Are they going to our contact page and requesting information from us? So that's all information that we track within Google Analytics.
Wonderful. That's very helpful to me. Well, we've got another question here. Let's bring that up quickly, Robin. What's going on here?
Cynthia asks, AdWords, is there still a keyword tool? And also, is AdSense still a part of Google's marketing? So two different questions.
Yeah, well, there is a keyword tool that's available by Google. There's actually several tools out there that you can use for keywords. But yes, there are tools available for keyword research. In regards to AdSense, AdSense is a little slightly different than the AdWords platform, but it is still available.
Great. All right. Now, what about how do you suggest that someone go about starting an AdWord campaign, since that's, again, new information for me?
Sure. Well, there's lots of video tutorials available. You can just go to Google and Google, I'd like to start a Google AdWords campaign. In essence, it's really about knowing what metrics you're trying to focus on in regards to the ads themselves. I know for myself, I do a lot of A/B testing, meaning I try to come up with a variety of different campaigns to suit a client, so we can kind of compare what works and what doesn't work. That leads into a lot of businesses, they get a little overwhelmed with Google AdWords, because there is so much to it. There are site extensions, call extensions, your call to actions are important. You have, like I mentioned, the remarketing campaign. There's actually a whole library of scripts that can be utilized to focus on specific data that maybe you want a AdWords campaign to display. There's the different networks. You have your search network, your display network. So I think for business, it's really important to decide on what their overall strategy is before they jump into AdWords in themselves. And in addition to that, there are agencies out there that they specialize in nothing more than managing Google AdWords campaigns, because being a small business owner, it can be a bit overwhelming just to run a business by yourself with all the different hats that people have to wear.
Right.
But that's kind of one of the things that I offer to my clients is AdWords campaign management, just because I have certain insights based on my experience that maybe a small business may not be aware of.
Well, that's the whole point and why you specialize in what you do, and I specialize in what I do, which is not AdWord campaigns. So, we appreciate knowing about you, Molly. You are a wonderful resource for everyone here today. Let's move into the conversation, since AdWords really does move into this, about grants. You know, we have a number of social entrepreneurs who follow the show, and it's a growing market in and of itself, being social entrepreneurship. And I think that they would want to know that there are grants available for nonprofit businesses. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Google offers a program called Google Grants for Nonprofits, and it's a program that they develop for nonprofits who hold the 501c3 tax status with the IRS. And essentially, it's free to sign up. You just take your information and go to the Google Grants website, fill out an application. It's pretty straightforward. Essentially, what happens is they will review the nonprofit's application. It typically takes 30 to 45 days to hear back from them. But once the nonprofit is approved, they are eligible for several different nonprofit programs. The first being Google AdWords, where a nonprofit is eligible for up to $10,000 per month in free Google AdWords advertising.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really
You
neat.
just were suggesting that we, that we allot $600 a month, and you just said they're providing $10,000 a month for nonprofits?
Exactly. And what's really neat about that is after a few months, if the nonprofit, there are certain guidelines that are a little bit different than a regular AdWords account. For example, one of the guidelines is the amount that you set per click cannot exceed $2. So that can be a little challenging, and that's why, again, we have agencies out there that they specialize in managing campaigns for nonprofits, such as myself. There's also several agencies within the Google Partners community that does the same. But essentially what happens is if a nonprofit follows those guidelines, they will actually be eligible for something known as Google Grants Pro. And what that means is they, instead of $10,000 per month, a nonprofit would be eligible to receive $40,000 per month in Google AdWords advertising.
How many nonprofits are taking advantage of this? I'd never heard of the program.
Right, that's actually a good question. I don't have the specific number. I'd have to do some research. But I know for myself, since I learned about it, I have had several clients that I've been able to get signed up or are in the process of getting their application reviewed, and I've had a lot of success with it. So I'm not aware of the number of people who are currently signed up, but one of my missions is to spread the word out there that this program is available for nonprofits with the 501c3 tax status.
Absolutely, and I hope that this program also provides some of that for you, because first of all, people need to know that it exists, and you can actually end up becoming a Google Grants Pro with up to $40,000 a month in AdWords available to you. So if you are watching this and you know of someone who is running a nonprofit, or you're supporting a nonprofit, or you're a social entrepreneur that is also working in the nonprofit field, let them know about this and let them know that Molly can help them with their campaigns. Very, very exciting, Molly. Love hearing about this.
One thing I would add to that is, in addition to AdWords, there are actually several other benefits that a nonprofit can use with the Google Grants program. Specifically, they also have Google Apps available to them, which is a suite of business apps that someone can use in order to just conduct day-to-day business, including Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Drive. Helps them work better with colleagues through online collaboration. They can store documents in the cloud with 30 gigabytes of storage access. They can stay connected anywhere with an internet connection. There's 24/7 support. There's no hardware updates needed, and it is a really great resource. In addition to that, they also qualify for YouTube Pro, and then also they qualify for Google Earth Outreach. So those are just some added benefits. I'm not going to go into too much because I know we're limited on time, but if anybody has questions about anything to do with Google Grants, I'd be happy to get them an answer.
Great, and we're going to provide your contact information in a few minutes. Well, this moves us into the third hot topic, because here you were talking about that they also provide nonprofits with YouTube Pro, and you had said, well, let's talk a little bit about the benefits of video marketing and leveraging YouTube. So I know you've got some great strategies and tips for our viewers in that area, so go ahead and let's hear it.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm a very big fan of using video, not only because it's easier for people to learn about your content, meaning whatever you're selling, whatever you're promoting, but actually there's so many different tools that can be used with YouTube. In addition to that, you can actually optimize a YouTube video. A lot of people aren't aware of that, but once a YouTube video is either recorded prior to uploading, or a YouTube video is created with Google Hangouts on Air, kind of like what we're doing today here, Virginia, they can go in afterwards and actually optimize that. And people say, well, what do you mean by optimizing a video? Well, what I mean by that is once the video is created, there is a section where you can go in and add keywords to that video, which would be something relevant to what somebody would be searching for. And so what happens is when you add those keywords and categories, and there's a section where you can add categories such as, you know, education or finance or florist or different subjects that somebody may type into a search engine to find your business, what happens is when the search engine pulls up those search results, it will actually pull up those videos that have keywords that are specific to that. And I can share with you that a few months back I was doing some research about just how to do a Google Hangout on Air. And so I went and I typed, how do you do a Google Hangout on Air? And I came across an article on Forbes.com called The Ultimate Guide to Hosting a Google Hangout on Air. And before I knew it, I was a co-host on the event. So it was definitely a different experience, but I strongly recommend that people use video. Again, Google Hangouts on Air, it's something that can be scheduled in advance. It can be broadcast to the public. It can be broadcast to your connections, your network. And then ultimately, there's the historical data of the Hangout on Air, meaning it's a great source, it's a great tool to collaborate with, say, maybe you've got a colleague across the United States, or you want to conduct an online meeting with several people, or you want to do a presentation, kind of like what we're doing here today. Google Hangouts on Air is an awesome, awesome tool. I definitely recommend you check it out.
Absolutely. You know my passion for it, and I teach a lot about this, and optimizing the description is another place I think people really miss out, that they really need to take advantage of that. There's so much we could talk about in just utilizing YouTube as a leveraging tool for getting the word out there. You know, I love using it also for coaching. I do both group coaching and one-on-one coaching with Hangouts. It's just a, you know, my business used to be limited to, you know, my geographical area. Suddenly the globe is now, you know, potentially my customer. So yeah, it's a great tool. If you're not using it, text success to 307-269-2040. I'll help you with that for sure. Let's see. We've got some another question here. It looks like, Robin.
Yeah.
From Dorothy Lyles.
Yeah, Dorothy Lyles says, I'm a professional storyteller and jazz and blues vocalist of 30 years, known basically by local community in Chicago. However, I don't know how or where to start reaching a broader audience. Do you have any suggestions, Molly, on how or where to start?
Sure. Well, I would recommend that she take her what she does, singing, and record maybe a portfolio of songs that she can post to YouTube. That in and of itself can be used just to get started. Eventually, I would recommend getting either a landing page or a website, setting up your social network profiles, and sharing your music through social and through YouTube. In addition to that, you could even, again, utilize Google Hangouts on Air to where you could share a pre-recorded event, or here's an idea, you could actually hold a concert. I have a few clients who are musicians that we utilize Google Hangouts on Air to share when they have a song release, And I actually had the opportunity to attend a very cool concert a little over a week ago. YouTube video, landing page, social media, those are all free resources that you can use immediately to share and tell the world about who you are and what you do.
Oh, that's great advice. And, I think that that's one of the things that so many artists aren't aware of. Artists don't tend to be techie people. They tend to be artists, right? So their passion is their music or their poetry or whatever it might be. And so, yeah, how do you get the word out there? Learn how to use a Hangout in Air and have an opportunity. You could just do that recording with yourself, Dorothy, on your own private Hangout in Air. That's what she was talking about having it pre-recorded and then release it if you're a little tentative about doing something live. And then after you get more comfortable with using the Hangout technology, then you could do a live concert, and you could even invite people to come to the live concert and even bring them inside and let them do their comments and their applause and that sort of thing, so that you get your audience engagement. That's always really important. So great question. Well, I know we could go on and on. There's so many things we could talk about in how to really tap into and harness the power of the internet today. But Molly, you've given us a great start, and I really appreciate that. In a moment, and Robin, you can go ahead and post this, we're going to stop the broadcast, but we're all going to have an after show where you really are welcome to come in and join us inside the Hangout and ask Molly direct questions yourself. But before we do that, Molly, tell people how can they get in touch with you and what can they expect when they get in touch with you as far as, again, the services you provide.
Sure. I've shared in my lower third my contact information for my website and my email address. So certainly you can visit my website. It's got all my contact information. There's an About page that shares just a short story about myself, just some of my interests, and some of the services that I offer. In addition to that, going back to our last conversation about the musician, in a former life I was a musician. I actually started playing music professionally when I was 12. I played the harp, and I wish they had this kind of technology back when I was a musician, because I could have done so much more than what I am now. But yeah, if anyone has questions about Google AdWords, analytics, Google nonprofits, just really anything regarding social media marketing, website design, development, printing, graphic design, I'd be happy to help out. In fact, that's another platform we didn't really get to touch upon. I am also a Google Helpouts provider. It's a great platform. If you have general questions about a variety of different subjects, there's a whole library of Helpout providers that are available to help you out.
Well, so we're talking about you going to designrightforyou.com to get more information, or email Molly at designrightforyou.com. Correct, Molly?
Yep. Yes, that's correct.
All right, Robin, do we have any last-minute comments or questions from the audience?
We have a comment, and my comment tracker keeps slowing down. Cynthia says, this is a strong message to focus on what you love and get the help you need from how to harness the power of the internet with Molly. So,
oh,
yeah,
so
definitely.
Wise, Cynthia, you're so wise. Thank you for saying that. That is so true. Be all that you are, and shine a light on what you do and what you're passionate about, and get help from those people who know what they know about, because that's their passion. And anything that is your passion is what you do best and how you shine. So, I couldn't agree more with that. Well, we are going to sign off, and I want to thank you for spending the time with us today. I hope you found this as valuable as I did. Robin has posted the link in the comment section, and she's going to post it one more time, so feel free to come on in and join us in the after show. In the meantime, I'm going to say bye from here. Molly, you want to say bye-bye?
Yeah, sure. I want to thank everybody who took the time out today to watch the presentation. I greatly appreciate it. Again, if you have any questions after the show, just go to the event page and post them there, or contact me via molly@designrightforyou.com or my website, designrightforyou.com, and I'll be happy to schedule an appointment.
Sounds terrific. And Robin, thank you so much for being here to help out.
You're
As
very
always,
welcome.
we appreciate your presence and your ability to help share the audience and their comments. So thank you again. Everyone,
You're welcome.
have a great Monday, and we'll see you in the after show. Come on in and join us. Bye now.
Thank you.